Ford's about to do battle with the Nissan Leaf and Chevy Volt, joining the ranks of mainstream car makers that have an EV. But they're not going to do it with a new model. They're putting batteries and an electric motor in the existing Focus. Let's drive it and check the tech. We've got a separate video that looks at the underlying technology in this electric Focus, but in a nutshell, it's got a 75-mile range, about the same as a Leaf, like all EVs that will vary by terrain, weather, accessory use, and your lead-footedness. But more interesting is the advanced charger Ford's installed that they say can do a full charge on the battery in 3 hours or so when plugged into a 240-volt or level 2 charging station, either in public or the one Ford is selling for about $1,500 installed for your home. That's about half the charging time for a Nissan Leaf or other similar EVs, and can make for really useful top-ups as well. But none of that matters if it doesn't drive well. Okay, I have not driven a Ford Focus Electric prior to this very moment, so you're going to get my unfiltered impressions. And we're here in a downtown San Francisco location, so I'm going to start off giving you some urban stop-and-go impressions. Now, Ford's thrown out the Nissan Leaf as the benchmark for this car, and as you may recall, I thought the Nissan Leaf drove like a very nice car, a very mid-class car, nicer than you would think an EconoBox should. The Focus so far has a very similar bolted-down feel to it. We've gone over some crappy pavement here, and it doesn't feel like any parts are falling off. And so far, that nasty gear whine that I hate is not showing up anywhere, either on acceleration, deceleration, or regen braking. That's good. This car does feel heavier, just intuitively you can tell. It's got a big old belly of heavy batteries, so yes, it's going to have a little more planted thing. I feel a little bit of a spring in the ride, but can't tell if I don't do them head-to-head. There are a couple of different gauges on this car you won't find in any other Ford. There's one where you can add butterflies, which is kind of like growing leaves in another Ford Dash we've seen. It's a way of telling you are neither accelerating too hard nor braking too hard. Gentle acceleration is as important as gentle braking. That's the way to drive a car if you want to really get the most mileage out of it, any kind of car. Inside the cabin, as Ford mentions, they don't sell these things as stripped vehicles. They've all got the high-quality audio system, the Sony branding right here. You see, this car has got the recycled water bottle interior. That's where this fabric's made from. You can also get a leather. I would go for this stuff. It's got a nice feel to it. The other gauge I mentioned is this sort of a scoring thing that also really gets into the dynamics of accelerating and braking gently. That's a new concept for most drivers, and this is one of the few cars I've seen that has a display to coach you into doing that. Now, I just turned on the HVAC system, which wasn't on before. All those little things can take away from an electric vehicle's range. You got to bear that in mind. When you're running the heater in this car, it's not powered by hot coolant off the engine because there isn't any. You've got to run that with some battery power. Just about every subsystem does. So in sum, I want to wait for a final production car to judge the driving quality and also how the battery holds a charge in my real-world use. And then I'll want to see how the public warms to an EV based on an existing model. Will they view that as comforting or just some sort of odd hack?